than our local cable subscribers.
We can go ahead and get started. Okay, so the meeting is being recorded. It goes on just for new gardeners. So all of the committee meetings, this is the first year we're doing hybrid, which is really awesome. So this way we can have like in-person fun stuff, and if like people are traveling, they can still come to a meeting. And the oh, I need to go back to make sure I see when people are trying to join. Okay. So yeah, they're hybrid now, but they're always recorded because they get posted on the city website. They're public meetings, so that's why it's included. There's a public comment section. That is not a gardener comment section. That would be if somebody who wasn't a gardener and just like was a person. We're all people, but was a person who's not a gardener came and wanted to like add something to our agenda or ask us questions. I'm also learning more about this, and the reason I'm going to go a little bit more into detail about some of these things is I do want new gardeners to get involved. And when I was a gardener, I didn't understand any of this stuff, and this meeting is like the best time to like learn what these meetings are like. But I've learned through other boards I'm in that the public comment is optional, even if you are a public entity. So all the chair has to do is say, this meeting doesn't have a public comment time. And I think we like having it just in case. We've never had someone come and it's never been an issue. But if for some reason it gets to be that way, that could be, it's an option.
I just want to interject that it's apparently not required to record, because I attended the Leadership Citizenship Academy and it came up there that other meetings are not recorded.
Yeah, other meetings are not recorded. I mean, this is a good question. The city doesn't have any expectations for us. I've asked them that like through Ava a few times. But definitely like the CPA, like other like meetings I've been to here are not recorded. But when I started, Stephen had emphasized that that was like part of like how the committee passed. So I mean, I'd be down if we want to like vote and discuss in a future meeting, like if we need these to be recorded and posted. We did get a $25 donation because we're on a cable station. And so that's cool. And it's just a more thorough way of like, instead of reading notes, people can like watch these. But yeah, I'm definitely, it isn't mandatory. You're right. No.
And if a situation came up where we thought we needed to hold a meeting someplace else,
yeah,
we could do that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's kind of why the governance side of things would be cool. To get some of this written down. It's like right now we do it this way and this is why. And Stephen has a hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. At a point in which we do discuss this, be it tonight or whatever, I'd like there are a couple of things I'd say, but if we're not doing that presently, then we can move on.
Yeah, we have too much to do, I think, today. But I think this is we've never talked about it, and I think this is cool to think about, and we can talk about it again, for sure. And I'll try to make sure we put it in a good agenda spot. Cool. Great. So welcome everyone. Again, I already said that, but welcome. We can have cake whenever we want. You don't have to you can get up and start hacking into it at any minute. At the top, I've already said this quite a bit at like the workday and over emails with folks, but I'm being extra thorough. Oh, good. Awesome. Fiona, that's great. And then, great. Fiona's here. Hi. So the other big thing that's happening, and the reason I'm trying to be extra thorough today with how meetings work is because I'm going to step down from being the chair. And I would really love for someone to if you're interested in stepping in, to please do so. And I would love to like do some training time. So it wouldn't be like next month, I'm just going to disappear. But as soon as someone feels interested, just let me know. And I definitely would like to be done by August. But that's the big announcement there. So any questions people have, please just ask.
Sarah, why?
Well, well,
Raise your pay.
that's right. No, I am getting a little too overcommitted in other things, and I'm just excited to hang out and actually do more stuff in my garden. But I'll still be around. I'm not like actually going anywhere. So that's that. And before we do introductions, I will say, is there anyone from the public here who would like to make a comment? No. Okay, cool. Great. So we'll just start going around, and then we'll do the digital people, the virtual people. They're real people. They're not virtual and they're not digital. But when you go around, say your name. If you can think of your plot number, that's like one of the coolest parts is trying to know what your plot number is, and your astrology sign, since we already started sharing that. And how long you've been at the garden. I'm Sarah. I'm in C3. I've been at the garden 9 years. I'm a Capricorn. And we'll go this way. That's clockwise. Yeah.
I'm Jessie, and this is my 3rd year at the garden, and I'm in plot D12, which is all the way in the corner. And
Jessie, can you speak up a bit?
yes, and I'm a Gemini.
Gemini?
That's all you really needed to know.
Yeah, now we're actually writing down everyone's birthday, which would be fun.
Hi all, Matt, I'm in plot A12. This is my 1st year and I am a Cancer.
Matt Gardner?
Yep.
Okay, I like putting names to faces.
Names
Faces
appropriate.
to names.
Frank Johnson, and I'm in C8. I have been at the garden since the very beginning. I'm the only one left.
Oh,
Yeah, it was I was talking to some folks the other day at the work day. It's been interesting to see how far it's come along. I'm a Taurus, and I was born in the year of the ox, so I doubled down. Taurus.
I'm John. I'm in A10.
Your last name, John?
Doyle. Yes. This is my 4th year, I think. And I'm a Leo.
Hi, I'm Mark Leonis. I'm in plot C5. I've been in the garden since 2019 when we moved to town. And my sign is Libra.
I'm Katie. It's my first time. I think I'm in C1.
Yes.
Katie Paradis? Paradis?
I'm a Libra.
Great. A lot of dual energy. Everyone's like one of the twins or the scales. Yeah.
I'm Jane. I'm in A5, and this is my 3rd year, and I am a Gemini.
Where'd it go? Oh, good.
I'm Melanie. It's my 1st year. I'm an A11 and I am Virgo.
There we go. That's an earth sign. God. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm Ryan McChesney, D6. This is my 4th year, I believe, at the garden, and I am a Scorpio.
I'm Karen. I'm as my 6th year. I'm in C9 and I am Aquarius.
So we have just need a Pisces. Where the Pisces at? We need a Pisces.
I don't know how long I've been here. I came when you came, didn't I? So it's in 2019. I am in D5 and I am also an Aquarius.
I'm Nikki. This is my 1st year. I don't know my plot number, but I know I'm next to Sarah.
So that makes let's see, D3.
D3. and I'm a Capricorn.
Oh my God, thank God. Yes. That's great news. We're gonna have a great little section. All right. Cool. So I'll say names because the screens rearrange y'all. So Charlotte.
Hi, I'm Charlotte, and I am a Leo, and similar to Frank, I was born in the year of the tiger. And my plot is B5 next to Ryan. And this is my second year at the garden. Last year I had a thistle plot.
Thank you, Charlotte. Mark.
Sorry, I had to mute. Hi, Mark Lighthammer. I am in C2. This is my second year at the garden, and I am a Cancer.
Yara.
Hello. I think we're in B12, but I'm not certain. I've been there for a little bit less than a year, and I'm a Libra, and I was born in the year of the rabbit.
Andrew.
Hi, everyone. So I am plot C6, and I'm a Gemini.
And you're what?
No, Gemini.
A Gemini. Oh yeah, we just said this. I'm sorry. I'm like in denial about how many Geminis are here.
Hey, we exist, right?
Stephen.
I'm Stephen Litsky. I'm in B8 South.
There we go.
What sign are you, Stephen?
And this is my 11th year in the garden. I thought it was my 9th or 10th, but it's my 11th. I just looked it up. And I'm an Aquarius, which is why I'm the one who contacts the water department every year.
That's an air sign.
No, but it's the water bearer.
Yes.
Yes.
Confusing.
And I think that's it, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Stephen. Caleb.
Hi, I'm right next door in B9. I started last year, so I guess this is my second year. I was born in August, which makes me a Virgo.
Here we go. Another Earth sign. There's so few of us. Awesome. Thanks, Caleb. Fiona.
Hi, I'm Fiona. I'm in plot B4, and I'm Year of the Tiger.
Fabulous. I'm realizing that maybe I don't know if Gemini AI is like going to record our personality traits and like start document, like trying to make astrology AI better too. They're like, okay, so this is how all the Geminis behaved in the meeting. Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys all for coming. I've already said that. I'll try to move us along then to the minutes, which I realized because Jane is new to doing the secretary role. Oh, and I should have had all of us who have positions say your title, but it'll come up as we go along, so we can you'll learn who does what.
Good to know, Jane.
Yes, Jane's our new secretary. I think maybe it's because you're a few minutes late last meeting. That must have been why. Yeah, Jane's awesome. But new to the formatting, I don't think I posted the minutes that you took. So we'll, instead of approving them because no one's been able to read them, I will post today's minutes and last month's minutes in the next email, and next meeting we'll vote on approving those minutes. And that's just approval because then those minutes get sent to the city and they go to our Google Drive. And so that way in the future, if we need to like search for how we've handled things in the past, we can read the minutes to find that out. So we'll go ahead and skip the acceptance of the minutes section and move on to the treasurer's report with Mark Leonis.
Okay, you able to put it up?
Oh
on
yeah,
the
that's
screen?
right. Yeah. Always like everyone can see it. Go to Snap. My screen's open. No. All right, so this
Since the April financial report. And it hasn't changed dramatically from the original projections, which are on the column on the far right. I don't know if you can see that.
yeah, I can just zoom in like this.
Yeah, just kind of move along with that.
Yeah, yeah. With this.
The only real change you'll notice has been the recording of garden fees, where we currently have 975, and with this check that hasn't been signed, that makes an even 1,000, which is our goal. The math there again, 40 plots at $25 each. That is our main source of income. Because of the expenses that you'll notice on the expense side, we can't really pay all of our bills out of that $1,000. So we take some money from our reserve fund, which actually was $3,000 at one point, and supplement our garden fees to balance our budget. To date, we've had no expenses because we're just starting up the year. There's not a lot going on. Broadbrook, who handles the checking the pipes for leaks and other things, will be coming tomorrow or Monday, and they charge $400, as you can see from the expense side. Other than that, I don't have any other bills that have come to me. Usually they would come to me, and then I would fill out a purchase order with the city, and the city would pay it. At this point, we're only, I've let the city know we're only interested in using the following vendors, which would be Aubuchon, Broadbrook, Easthampton Feed, Flurry Lumber, and Flurry Power. If it comes up that we need some other services or goods from another one, then we would fill out another purchase order with the city. This is the protocol of how we do it, working with the city, and then we submit the bills and they cut the checks and send it out, hopefully in a timely way to the vendors. But that's in a nutshell, unless there's any questions. We really haven't done much with money, but the good news is we're basically reached our target goal in terms of garden plot fees.
And these are the ones that are adjusted that we talked about last time, like when we adjusted like Flurry Lumber up a tiny bit. And
yeah, we
all of that.
voted on these figures that are on the far
Perfect.
right column.
Okay.
And so that's what the city, and Ava is overseeing this now. I mean, the checks go through this to the city clerk, to Mary Ann, but Ava is kind of overseeing a lot of the overall garden finances, et cetera. And I think next year she may even taking the payments. That's what she indicated to me the other day when I spoke with her. She's, as we know, for those of us who know her, she's very high energy and committed and interested in helping us out in any way she can. So that's good news.
Sorry, I didn't know if I could admit on this. Cool. And I just had one question. Do you have a suggestion for like Broadbrook and some of these things? Like we know, like the budget is based on what we know we usually spend with them, but like say with Aubuchon, we like start, we need to buy tools and like, I guess we'll just keep checking in as the year goes on. For about to reach 250 too fast. We'll just like,
if it looks like we're going to hit that target, then we can make a vote to increase the amount. And then I would notify Eva at the city and she would make that notation, and
okay,
we could submit receipts in those amounts.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. Yep. Oh, this is, just in case so people can see, this is, how much we have in the reserve fund and why it's kind of okay right now that we're pulling from it, because we do have quite a bit. But one thing we learned from Ava last year is that the city doesn't really have any like money for us if something were to go wrong, like our pipes freezing and the irrigation system like needing to be completely redone. So that would be like worst case I could think of as far as big costs, or if there's like a fire with the shed or something like that. The reserve fund would be the only way we could pay for a disaster like that. But we don't always need to be worried that that's going to happen. So I think pulling from it's good. Maybe realizing that we can't pull from this forever since we are functioning in a deficit. We can talk about that a little more too. I didn't put it on the agenda, but it was something I meant to, was some fundraising stuff. So any questions from anybody? And computer people, if I miss you, raise your hand. You can just unmute yourself and start shouting. It's also fine. I'm just trying to look at people and 3 screens. So, cool. So no questions? Suggestions? Awesome.
Yeah. Feel free to email me if you think of something.
Awesome. I love this sheet. It's awesome. Very clear. And I can also start making sure I forward that, like either when whoever does meeting notes, we can forward that.
I was gonna ask to be excused from doing meeting notes.
Great.
because My work schedule has changed.
Yeah. Okay, great. I'll do them for now, and then we can assess like, the chair, whoever would want to step in as the chair doesn't have to take on everything, and then we can kind of reallocate some of that stuff. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, that was the treasurer's report. Margie, you're up. Outreach is next.
Oh my God. Hi, I'm Margie, which I already said. I'm an Ox too, Frank. So we've been going through the waiting list pretty quickly. There's only 3 more people on the waiting list, and plots have been opening up, and new people are here, which is great. I really appreciate everybody's interest and patience and getting back to me so promptly. It makes my job easier. And we have 2 open plots, but 2 people waiting to meet with Sarah.
Yeah, we're gonna meet next Wednesday or Tuesday, one of those days.
So we're pretty filled up, and I don't anticipate anybody leaving, but then I didn't anticipate previous people leaving either. But it happens, and some years we manage to give everyone on the waiting list a plot, and some years we don't. I don't really have anything else to say, except I was going to say my schedule at work has changed. Now I got to work Fridays, so I would prefer not to do those notes anymore. That's another task, like those applications that kind of just fell to me. It's been okay up to now, but I'm tired.
Yeah.
So sorry I have my back turned to some people up there, but did everybody hear everything? We have 3 people on the waiting list and no more open spots. Pretty much all set.
Can I ask, so part of this, just to make it clear, Mark is organizing the forms that we get. So he'll let us know who hasn't paid. Is that correct?
Yes. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been going through all the forms that I've received. I've been going through the documentation that comes from Marianne at Town Hall of who's paid and what format. So I have all of the data documented, but I know that I don't have everything yet because I know that my forms didn't come through, but acknowledgement of my payment came through. So I'm working with Marianne to try to get all of that information. And Mark Leonis, some of what you mentioned earlier, you're going to leave for me in the community garden mailbox. So I'll check that out. So hopefully by next meeting, I'll have a better sense of where we're at.
And then when the forms, just so I'm super clear, I apologize if you've already said this, but the forms then, the physical ones, are we keeping those somewhere, or you're just like, it's all going to be digitized and in a
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know if they need to be kept somewhere in town hall or if I just keep them in a folder at home. I think that's something for us to discuss and figure out.
Okay, cool. Maybe I think they must have been keeping them in the past.
Wasn't Ted keeping forms?
Oh, maybe.
Ted had a box of stuff which he passed to me, and we're trying to figure out a place to keep it. I think
Okay.
Stephen offered to house it if we couldn't find. I think it would be fabulous if we could find a cellar space at City Hall, but I
Yeah.
question whether that'll be possible.
Well, I just don't know. I guess I don't understand if it's like an auditing thing with the city. I mean,
It's a good question.
okay.
I could ask Ava.
Maybe
She could look into that.
well, Mark, since you're talking to Mary, sorry, it's not clear when I do that. But, Mark, when you talk to Mary Ann, maybe ask if they need the physicals for an
Yeah.
audit. Okay.
Okay, I'll do that.
And okay, great.
Yeah, in my job, I work, it's a state agency. We're supposed to keep all our forms for 7 years.
Yeah, I think that's what I want, even if they were digitized, I think.
Yeah, some of ours are digitized, but they still want us to keep the hard copies.
Good. Ryan's doing what I wanted to happen. Cut in there.
I thought she was gonna get a piece for herself.
She's doing it. Great. Yeah, maybe that would be great. Thank you. It is out of.
That was
Sarah, what kind of
Oh,
cake
it's
did you
white
make
cake
that?
with rhubarb and mascarpone whipped thing. Well, is that what you asked? Was what it was? Yeah. Well, I was really trying to bait more people to come, which it didn't work, but that's okay. I'm really, really grateful for everyone who did come.
More cake for those of
Yeah,
us. who
that's
are-
right.
Bad turnout.
No, it's not bad. I'm sorry I keep being such a like grump. I'm like, no, everyone, all 40 people are sitting here. Oh, wait, will you pass me a fork too? We can do forks.
Show them the cake.
I do not
It's
trust
pretty, it's in
myself
frame.
to
You can see it.
Too late. You come to the-
See what you're missing?
See what you're missing.
Real candies on
Awesome. So,
It's
really great. So outreach we're all set with.
I'll have some. I was just asking. 'cause
I don't know.
You're in the head of the table, so.
Belle encouraged me. She's a good encourager.
You're right. Great. So is that it for outreach? Outreach is all set. That's it, right?
Yeah, I don't have any, unless anybody has.
Yeah, does anyone have a question for outreach at all?
Yeah, another thing that I do is like, if you need to contact somebody and you don't know how, you can always contact me. I'll send out an email because if I'm not doing meeting notes anymore, you might not have my email address. So I'll send out an email.
Well, and a great example of that was somebody had left the water on.
Oh, yeah.
And they emailed Margie and I, and then that's why she then emailed everyone like, hey, don't forget about. So if you notice something, like Margie's a great resource to just send.
There was
out of-
something else I had to remind you about.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, I just remember something Karen asked me to say, so I'll save that for the end, as well. Okay, great. Well, let's go ahead and move on to operations. Operations is like a bunch of different people right now. It's, Virtual Mark is doing the weed inspections. Frank is in charge of equipment. And Jane was sort of in charge, I guess, of tool inventory and such.
You can come.
And so we'll just start with Frank getting updates from you on the operations.
Okay.
Oh, and mowing, I'm gonna.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
like,
That looks
and
great
do
too.
a great.
It does look great. That was all Jane.
That's awesome. Sheds
One
look
more.
so good.
Yeah.
Frank helped.
Okay, Frank and Jane. Sorry, Frank.
I'm up.
Yeah, Frank's up.
All right. That was an awesome work day. There's a lot of people there.
Must be clapping.
It looked like a party, like
Yeah.
the big parties and all the cars parked there and stuff. I haven't taken the mower up to get serviced yet. I'm gonna actually mow tomorrow. And then take it up on Saturday, mow the trimmers. It keeps raining when I have a day off. And the beautiful days I'm working, so I can't figure it out.
Down at the end.
We lost two mowers, two people who mow. We had the mower. We lost the people who mow. So anybody's interested in being on the mowing crew, please email me and let me know. I can show you how to use the mower, how to clean the mower. It's really easy. The mower kind of goes by itself almost. You can read a book and mow at the same time. don't recommend it, but.
No, I would say it's very hard.
But it's a
actually.
big looking machine, but it actually has its own little motor. Everything, I can show you how to use it. It's very easy to use.
How often do we mow? Like once a month?
Dog, oh, hell no. No, we gotta mow like every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, great.
And really, if we had an intrepid crew, we could do once a week and then it would be very easy. If we get a lot of rain, then you just gotta wait till it kind of dries out. But that mower, when you're done, you hook a hose up to it. There's a place to put the nozzle, and then you lower the mower and activate the blade, and you have the water running, and it cleans the hole underneath of the mower. It's pretty awesome. Yes.
But the weed whips, are they functioning?
I've not tried them yet. I have a question.
No, that's actually not what I was gonna say. I was just gonna say, when you've kind of figured out your crew, you could let us know if you want mowing to be something that we do at work days, because if we're gonna try to have them about once a month, we could work that into your schedule if that's helpful. 1 or 2 people
Sure,
at the workday could always mow.
Yep.
And that came up as a question last time, like, should we mow today? Is this like the height of grass? Is there a separate schedule? So just let us know.
Yep.
If you want somebody to be on mowing at the work days, and we can make that happen.
Cool.
Yeah.
Andrew?
I was just gonna say I mowed last year also, and I'd be happy to again this year.
Okay, good. Yeah, but even if you mowed, email me.
Okay.
Please, and so I'll have everybody's names, and then we can maybe meet up there, although you know how to use it, and some other folks do.
Okay, cool. So right now it's just you and Andrew. Does that sound right?
Sharing a plot with
Oh, Norman?
Norman. Norman will do some mowing.
Okay, cool.
I'd be happy to mow as well.
John,
John's
awesome.
mowed. So we're
Okay, cool.
if we get
And Caleb?
6 to 8 people.
Caleb, are you wanting to mow too? Caleb's mowing?
Good.
That'd be great.
Definitely email me then, Frank Johnson.
Thank you.
Also, Grace is in the meeting and I didn't welcome her in. That happened while we were talking. So Grace is here. So, great. Anything else?
Yeah. Jay was doing the inventory and inventoried nozzles and tried all of them. We're probably gonna need to buy some new. We don't need more nozzles.
No.
That's crazy.
There's all the ones that are hooked up. I hooked all of them up. I tested them all. There's all the ones that are hooked up, don't leak or anything. And then there's 3 that work pretty well, but they leak a little bit. So I'm not throwing them out just in case we need them. But right now, they all work and they don't leak.
Awesome.
I also went around and put ribbons on all of the multiflora rose bushes. So as the summer goes along, it would be nice. We'll try and remove some of those. That could always be something on a work day. They're invasive as hell, and when they get big, they become rabbit hotels. We don't like rabbits up there. So if you see rabbits, they're cute, but run them off, please. We don't want them to feel welcome. But you don't have to be super mean or anything, but run them out of there so that we still have something left at the end of the season, because they will hit your garden. The deer will come around too, but the rabbits can do a lot of damage in a short amount of time, especially this early in the season when you have new tender things. I bought like a little 4-pack of collards and I just put them out by my shrine at my house just to get them, harden them. And I have a whole yard of grass. I have all kinds of new fun stuff. And this freaking rabbit found them and ate 2 of them, and they were like $4. So it was like, it cost me $2. Meanwhile, the dog's upstairs snoring.
That's right.
So, and if you're using cardboard, try to really pack it down If you can, if you have the option, wet it before and really get it to try and get any kind of air out from under, because the voles, we have voles too. We have rodents up there. But the voles will get under there and make little hotels in your garden. And they like to chew on the tops of your carrots and stuff like that too. There are owls around in the evening. I have seen them with some of the rodents. So
Yeah, we should maybe
see the
get some
owls
owl
wave to them.
feeders. Yeah, keep the owl.
What else? Did we address anything about the cardboard that was out?
No, I'm gonna just email Christine to see, because I figured out she does so much work with Galaxy. I think she might have just told them to bring, because it looked like restaurant
Okay.
stuff, and I bet she thought they knew what she meant. And
Okay,
I don't
okay,
think
all right,
they
yeah,
did.
so we'll get
That's
started.
my guess on that.
And then I was up, went on a bike ride yesterday and stopped at Park Hill. And I ran into Mike, who does a lot of work up there on tractors and stuff. And I asked him if we get everything around the compost piles, could they come down and push stuff up? So
Okay,
he
cool.
said, I'll have to talk to Russell. I have to get his okay, but Mike didn't have a problem coming down and doing it. If we do that, we will need to take the fencing out though.
Yes,
And
yeah.
we've done that before years ago. And then we'll just put the fencing aside and then they can pile stuff up.
Okay, great. That's awesome. The compost
The
pile.
piles, yeah, they've gotten
the
way out of
bee
hand.
compost.
And so-
Thank you that's awesome. I have I had a meeting right before this with someone that will play into this. So I'm glad you already talked to somebody. That's great.
It was someone who could get a tractor and do it.
There's somebody who wants to work with Russell. We might have a big group of volunteers ready to help us with the compost situation on the 25th. So and then I don't know if we can get a work day organized that fast, but anyways.
Okay.
Let's talk about this. I had a
I'll
meeting.
just-
And yeah,
sorry.
Fiona, you work there, yeah.
I work there and I can nag Russell if you guys want, because I know sometimes stuff goes in one ear and out the other with him. Also, I can drive a tractor if that's helpful, but yeah.
Cool. All right, well then, probably what we should do is start getting the fencing out no
Yeah.
matter what.
Okay, cool.
That would be a good thing to do.
All right. Well, okay. Well, I'm not going to jump ahead to this too quickly, but just my quick question is the fencing. It's not going to take us like an hour to remove. It's probably just like a couple minutes, a bunch of people pulling at it. to get it
Yeah,
out? Okay.
there's
we
the
could do it, like,
metal
the
fence
same day
post,
the
and
tractor
then it's
comes.
like, I think it's 3-4 inch gauge wire or something. And so I haven't even looked at it. I don't know if it's just tied on there. Yeah,
Okay. Well,
that ground's pretty soft. We could get that stuff up fairly easy.
okay, cool. Awesome.
And I think that's it. That's what I have for now.
I had a question about the ramp.
Yeah,
There was something on a metal
I forgot about, I was
Okay.
supposed to talk to Dave.
at the feed store.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because they had metal things. Is that what it was? They had like.
Yeah, I think you said they had one there or
Or
something.
Karen, was that you who said that?
No.
No, okay.
What, ramp for the shed?
Yes, to fix
I
the,
noticed it's broken.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
We
I
were gonna do
kind
wood, but then somebody brought up metal.
of jerry-rigged it for the
Yeah,
the day.
well, and now I'm realizing metal might be tough, I guess, if it's slippery. Might be why wood's.
Well, if it stays that short, it probably won't be.
Okay, cool. All right, well,
We'll figure something out then.
okay.
So somebody's gonna be contacting the feed store about that? Is that what it was?
Would
The idea
you,
was, was to go by, and I actually was there like 4 days ago and I completely spaced it, so.
no problem. I'll just ask
You want
again.
semester to end.
Yes.
It is about to.
Can I ask, this list that Jane made of tools we might need, should we vote on that purchase or should we just?
It's not costly.
Okay, what are the items, just so it's
The items
on the
of-
record?
I want to clarify about the 1030 oil. Now, do we have any machinery that needs 1030? That's.
Oh, the
something-
oil. Oh, that's where I want to ask them at Flurry.
Okay.
But the only reason we would need that oil is for the lawnmower.
Right.
That's it. Everything else
Right, so a gallon or
is
something.
the oil gas
Okay.
mix.
So
Yeah.
the list is possibly 1030 oil a gallon, about.
No, it wouldn't be a gallon.
Oh, just a little one?
Yeah, no, the oil gas mix, we would get in a
Yeah,
gallon,
now I have that down here, the 50 to 1.
the 51.
Yeah. So a quart of 1030 possibly?
Possibly.
Okay, it's minimal, really. Everything's in pretty good shape right now. We need another box of contractor bags. We need a dustpan. We need a gallon of 50 to 1 mix, gas oil mix. And we definitely need at least 3 trowels because there are basically not.
That seems pretty, yeah.
Trowels.
That seems good. I guess.
That's it. It doesn't look like more than $50. Maybe.
Then I move to, let's see, I'll make a motion to purchase those things. Have you go to Avashon and purchase those things and charge it to our account? Does anyone second the motion? Seconded by lots of people, all in favor?
Aye.
Great.
So I'll purchase that. So just a question for clarity, we're limited in where we can purchase things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this will have to be the hardware, just the option.
To clarify, the 50 to 1, I will get that at Flurry.
Okay, cool.
You don't have to get that at Aubuchon.
So just a tiny of the oil.
And I don't even, I would, before you run up there, buy the oil, let me know.
Okay, so focus on the tools then, I guess.
Because I just need to know if that's the right weight oil for the lawnmower.
Okay, so you're on the mix and the oil, and I'll get the.
Yeah,
the
let's
things
do that.
up.
Let's
Okay.
do that.
Cool. All right, great. Any other operations questions or concerns? Karen with the pollinator garden report.
Yes. So I saw that some people put mulch
Okay,
in
great.
some of the aisles, so that was very nice. Thank you. Yeah.
Yay.
And the last time we had talked about the last 2 small raised beds to go in there. And I had done an estimate with Lowe's. So we're looking at 2 small beds that are 8 feet on one side and 3 feet on the end. And the Lowe's price was $94.98 approximately. And Flurry Lumber, I talked with them, and we have been looking at Douglas fir. That's what we used for the other beds. At Flurry Lumber, the fellow that I spoke with recommended kiln dried spruce. And the price that he gave me was $128.53. We're gonna ask them to make a couple of cuts. For the 12-foot one to give us 4 pieces. And he said a box of deck screws would be about $10. So we're talking about $140 if we buy it at Flurry Lumber.
And we budgeted 150. So that's
Good.
great. Yeah.
So then I go to Flurry and say, charge it to
The DPW account, right? Or
okay, I need to write it down.
I can provide a bunch of deck screws if you need.
You have deck screws? Okay. So charge it to DPW.
and if they don't do that, just say the community garden. They'll ask for one of those.
Or community garden.
Yeah.
In the town of Easthampton, or city of Easthampton. Okay, and so I have it, because, nothing is done to put this stuff in. I did not pick up the dirt yet.
Right.
Or some herbs, so, that is the other thing that I will get from, Easthampton fees. And that total that we talked about was about $325 to do the dirt for it.
Did that go down because of using the compost, right?
Yeah, we talked about using the compost, right?
That's right.
We have to mix compost with dirt. You don't just put compost in, you need minerals in it. So.
What's the total volume you need and how much compost and how much topsoil?
Some of the compost is going to be added to the previous beds to replenish them. And then some of the compost will be added to the dirt in the 2 new beds.
Part of me feels like, I mean, again, I know we talked about this at the top. The reserve fund isn't, it's not like growing, it's not an endowment, it's not attached to it, it's not like gonna get bigger at all. There's no interest with it. So I'm tempted to like not pull too much from it. But the pollinator garden, this is the final like stage of this process.
Yeah.
And then it would be like, we wouldn't have to pull from the reserve fund for this project again. So even if that uses all of our Easthampton feed budget that we have right now, if something comes up this summer, we have room to, but I don't know what else. I mean, who knows what will come up, but I guess it seems fine if to do it the right way.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking about past years. What else have we ordered from Easthampton Feed?
It's mostly been stuff for the gardens. And I guess it would maybe be if Mark needed some stuff for the like if he needs dirt or anything for the like parking lot beds, but we could maybe come back to that.
So the thing, I mean, for the parking lot beds, you would dig up some of the dirt that's there and add compost to it.
Yeah, right.
With the raised beds, it's a raised bed.
It's just empty, yeah.
So we're filling it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I move that the purchase of the dirt from Easthampton Feed at what's the price?
It was $325.
$325.
Yeah.
Move to approve that along with the $140 from Flurry Lumber. Does anyone second? Or second the motion? I second it.
Then just discussion.
Yeah.
Right. If you're gonna do 325, then we've got to vote to increase the amount of the POs.
Okay, great. So
Eva only has 300 on her list.
I move to increase the Easthampton feed budget to 325. Does anyone second the motion? Mark does. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. So now move for the pollinator projects to move forward with the $325 Easthampton feed and the $140 coming out of the Flurry Lumber budget. Second that. All in favor? Aye. Great. Okay, cool. Fabulous. Anything else?
No. So you have regular work days, right? So it's, I mean, it's not complicated building a raised bed, but it helps to have 2 people doing it. So maybe on one of the days, soon we can do that.
And we could definitely do that. Yeah.
Cool. Any other pollinator questions? I guess just really quick. Right.
Just, you were mentioning you need people to build it. What happened to those Boy Scouts that?
I have some updates on some people who are older than Boy Scouts who might help us. But it's a different crew of Boy Scouts, basically.
Big Boy Scouts.
Big Boy Scouts. But great question. It's like so much foreshadowing for this meeting I had at 4 o'clock today. All right. The parking lot garden then, with virtual Mark. Any updates?
Yeah, so we had the work session this past weekend. Got a lot of the parking lot beds weeded out. So they're ready for adding some compost and then adding some new plants. So have had a couple of people reach out with opportunities for donations. So going to work on that in the coming weeks and get those planted as well. One question I did have with the compost, Mark, is it okay if we use some of that compost for the parking lot bed?
Oh, yeah.
Sure, I will. We've got a yard and a half left, and I will personally donate. How much do you need? Quarter yard, half a yard?
Yeah, probably a quarter yard to half a yard.
Okay, sure.
I just want to do a nice little top dressing on it.
Good.
Well, thank you for the donation. Mark. I
Sure.
appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Fabulous. That's great.
Yeah. And I had thought that we would need to replace one of the boards on the back of it, but when we were there over the weekend. I think it's going to be fine for at least another year. So I don't think we need to do that this year. So.
Oh,
we should
cool.
be good. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, great. Any questions for parking lot project?
It looks pretty good.
It does. Yeah, it really does look nice. I mean, everything that was done at the workday, it's like insane, which is the perfect segue for events. Great work day. It was perfect. It was a fabulous work day.
20 people come.
20 people. That's awesome.
People, yeah. I don't kind of counted. Got about 20. Nice.
I'm glad it didn't rain.
I am too. Okay, so Ryan and Mel, do you want to start by saying anything about events, and then I can ask a question I came up with?
Well, I think that the main thing that we're like planning is mostly regular work parties. We meant to for this meeting, but we didn't. So we are hoping to come out, have like a calendar for the rest of the year in the next couple of weeks so that people can have them just like know in advance. We were thinking to propose the next one June 7th, which is a Sunday. The morning, maybe like 9:30 to 12-ish, noon-ish. And we are thinking in general to like, they'll always be on Saturdays or Sundays, but we'll try to rotate a little between Saturdays and Sundays and maybe morning or afternoon, depending on time of year.
I can never make it.
You can never make it in the morning. Okay, great. Yeah.
Maybe we can do afternoon that day.
Yeah, we potentially could do afternoon that day. I feel like getting later in the summer, morning feels important just because it gets so hot in the afternoon. But yeah, we are trying to think about just ways to make them accessible to people who might have the same things every weekend or whatever. We had sort of just like casually talked at the last workday, but about sort of setting a goal expectation of like everybody making it, all gardeners making it to at least 1 or 2 work days. And obviously, like if that's not possible for people, we know that there are other structures for getting in volunteer hours, but Sarah had really brought up that like that is one of the main ways that we get bigger projects done. And so how to like just really support that. We want to make them fun, but yeah, I don't know if there's a more formal way to talk about that, but like that was something that we had just talked about was could we set sort of like a general expectation that people show up at least 1 or 2 work days.
Do you have
for the
specific
season.
projects coming up that you're foresee?
We're gonna start a Google Doc that can be edited and we'll put projects on there. And if folks have suggestions, we'll make a spot where you can put that on there because I'm new to the garden, so I don't have a great sense of what needs to happen. But you can ping us individually about it.
Yeah, and I think there are things that are kind of like constant needs, like very regularly, the paths have to be remulched. Things have to be dug out. The multiflora rows. I know at least last year when I was more involved with the work days, there was a couple of times that we took whole work days to handle abandoned plots or plots that people needed support with. So I feel like there are pretty regular things that just come up and that are really better handled by a big group. So yeah, we're aiming for about monthly.
Well, and part of the, I've been thinking about it more, and we can open this up kind of as a discussion since you talked about, 3 things. So the reason monthly workdays feel good is I think because monthly meetings mean we have a monthly list of projects. And it's a monthly time to coordinate with the different little groups is what I just realized as we were meeting, like, oh, pollinators trying to build the, raised beds soon. So, or like it's a good way for all of us to talk to each other about what needs to maybe happen at a work day as things come up. But I did want to emphasize that just because y'all are interested in events, it doesn't mean you guys have to lead the work days. This could be a moment to be like, well, we want to, like, you know, I feel like Ryan, you had a lot of excitement to do like a seed saving workshop that never got to happen. And that could be more the emphasis is like, you want to host more of the events, and then we can, you know, campaign in the same way like any of us are, like we need someone to fill the workday leadership role. That could be an option too. And just building this out to have more people on the committee leading projects. So that was something I realized today. But
Yeah, and I think part of it is that we want people to participate in the community workday to get things done, and also like people are choosing to be part of a community garden because they want to be part of a community, and it'd be nice to have folks join together on projects. And if you can't come to a work day because life is busy, I think the invitation there is like sometime maybe the week before or after, find 2 hours to go to the garden, and you can check in with Ryan or I or the list and like find something that you want to do to contribute to this space. Because we can't do it alone. And it would feel really good to feel like, you know, there's not just 3 or 4 or 5 people putting in the effort, but everyone's carrying a little piece of the load to make it a nice garden.
would it be of interest in the meeting notes for me to like say events once more, like help with leading these work days so you guys can spread that out more, or would it feel?
I think if anyone's listening and wants to
excited.
get involved, like absolutely. We volunteered because like we felt like that was something that we could do to help, and we don't need to do that alone. So feel free to come check in with us. And it can be a one time, it could be a regular, it could be I want to lead this one thing, that's fine. But jump in. Yeah.
Yeah, or if people have other ideas of events like we've done an end of season potluck the last few years. That was great. And yeah, we did like a sign thing last year that like some people came and made signs, which actually is a segue there. So last year I did purchase enough stuff for every single plot to have a little plot sign. That stuff is still all in the shed. So there's a like green plastic tub that's kind of tucked under, if you first go into the shed, if you go to the left, it's kind of like tucked under the like shelving cabinet. And that has all of the white like signposts. And there are paints in there, and there are paintbrushes, and there are cups, and like there are things you could paint it at the garden if you wanted. All the stuff is available and there. And then there are wooden stakes. So those shouldn't be used for other things, which is a little confusing. Maybe I should put something on them because mostly stuff in the garden is pretty free reign.
These aren't the tomato ones.
These are for, yeah. So one stake, one signpost. There are also nails. There's a box of nails, and there's way more nails than we would need for all of the signs. So you can use those. We can use those nails for their deck nails.
Oh.
And I could bring a drill I brought my drills I could bring drills to work parties if people don't have access to that. So anyways, make signs at your leisure. Maybe we will have another sign making event if that's of interest to people, but also people can make signs at their leisure, and it's fun to have a nice little sign that says your plot number.
And I'll just say, people brought food last time. People brought coffee and salad and watermelon, and that was really, really sweet. And at the end, we all just sat around and ate and talked for a little bit. So it's not just working, it's also community building.
Saturdays would be good too. I know even like I have my kid every Sunday, so it's hard
Yeah.
for me to get there.
Yeah.
Great. I'm interested in being a part of it.
Cool. Yeah.
Maybe
We'll definitely.
We'll send an email out in the next like week or so with updates so that people can put on their calendar.
Yeah.
And we'll try and rotate.
Then I have I guess part of me wants to, I mean, we're ahead, but that doesn't mean everyone has to stay forever. It's like good to have fast meetings, especially because I was worried this would be so long. I kind of want to table the requiring people come to work days. I do kind of feel like it'd be cool to at least require people come to one.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, I guess I personally want to think about, everyone digest that, everyone churn on that, chew on it. We can talk about it more.
I would like to know what that requiring actually means. Like, are there consequences for not coming? Because not everybody joins the community garden for the community. Some people just want to grow food.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love the idea of community, but personally, I have a hard time doing more than just what I'm doing.
Well, that's because you're already doing a ton of volunteering for the garden.
No, well, only at certain times of the year. I mean, during the season, it lightens up a lot.
That's
It's
true.
just like at the beginning and the end.
Yeah, I think it's like a way, I would hope it'd be a way to get people who aren't that involved.
Non-committee.
It's not talking to
Yeah.
a person who, like you, who's already has like a position. And,
Well, I wasn't only thinking of
Yeah.
me though, because I know there's other people too who it's just all they can do is make it to their plot.
Yeah.
And on that, I also wanted to remind and tell new people that if you do fall behind in weeding and maintaining, you can enlist the help of anybody and everybody in the garden. You can contact me, and then that person can get community service credit for helping another gardener. So, because I know there are people who drop out during the year, they can't maintain it. A couple of people this year were going to take on several plots, a thistle plot and another plot, and then realize, ooh, that's a lot. Few people. So sometimes it's just enough to manage what you're doing, and I don't think we should have any strict requirements. We should be encouraged.
We have a requirement already.
Well, we have the community service requirement. That's what I mean.
Right.
Not other, I'm talking about work days now.
I think the idea is that you're putting an effort in some capacity, whether that's you're on a committee or you're coming to a work day or you're taking on lawn mowing, you're doing something for the
Everybody
community.
has
There
to do
is
something.
a
Right.
requirement. Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
guess-
get Steven, sorry, and then you, Ryan.
I was just gonna say, I was gonna offer a friendly amendment to the report that was just made about, event stuff. Because it kind of fits in a little bit. I guess I just wanted to raise that one of the things that, particularly if it's a Sunday event, one that could be added is just harvesting, particularly in relation to abandoned plots, getting them harvested or your own, and we can make it a point to fill some coolers, and then I would know that I will schedule in doing a delivery like that next Monday, the next day, basically, to the community garden. So maybe that's something we can add instead of having a longer discussion about whether people should be contributing or not. We could target it as one of the days to do. So even if you're going to do no more than just harvest your plot, put in extras, that would work nicely with a community event.
And Brian?
Now I forgot what it was.
Shit.
No,
Sorry.
I don't think it was super relevant. I think, I'm not trying to add on top of the 4 hours of community service. I think maybe we were just saying like, this is like an explicit and easy, a sort of like invitation, like this would count as your community service, and maybe sort of just like, if you're not involved in another way, sort of a goal expectation might be you come to one if you can.
That word requiring gets me.
Yes.
I agree. I think the word requirement is tough, but I do think this garden is not sustainable how it's functioning right now with the amount of volunteer hours being put into it.
It's not?
It's not.
It's been going for a long time.
It's going very well, but it's really relying on a lot of effort from very few people. And in order for it to be sustainable, I think we need to maybe not like add a ton of requirements. That's why I'm saying digest. Like we really need to, I think, problem solve how to put some expectations in place that keep things just a little bit more steady.
A question.
Yeah.
I know we've talked in the past about how to deal with people who are not completing their community service. And I don't remember hearing anything about how we answered that.
We haven't had anyone. Last year, everyone did. The one person who reached out, I had documented that she had completed them. So far, it hasn't really been a huge issue. And that is something I think part of why I'm struggling with some of these discussions that we really need to have is that our meetings get really filled with the committee updates and the month to month with and I've been noticing, and what I'd like to talk to, if somebody wants to take on this position, is noticing beginning of the year, this is what the meetings have to be about, are these certain things, and noticing as the year has gone on what discussions tend to happen. And so then when can we incorporate, like, well, July things calm down but there's less attendance to the meetings, is that really when we want to have a big conversation about like something like more controversial? Maybe not, because not that many people are here, but things like that. I think we need to figure out how to have better containers for figuring out stuff like that. And I don't know, these meetings go long, and I think that can make it hard to really hash some of this stuff out, which is why I kind of was thinking about governance existing, but that's kind of, it's asking just more time from people. So it's tough, but I do agree it's something we should keep in old business and see if it comes up as what are our consequences for all of our mandatory things. And then I have one other thing about events before we move on, but I do want to make sure everyone's had a chance to say anything before I keep talking and gesturing with my hands. There's when people make fun of me as the manager at work, it always involves me being like, okay. So, so the other thing I was curious about, again, I'm not going to talk about this yet. This is a preview, but I met with the people who are buying that building that's next to us. We talked about this very first meeting. Caleb was there. A few of us who were here were there. I met with them, and it's this organization that is the Farmer Veteran Coalition.
What building?
I'll talk more about it in a second. The old poor farm.
The cow.
That was just in the paper that they had.
Yes.
It's down the road though. It's quite a ways away.
Well, but less about that building in particular is the organization, the Farmer Veteran Coalition. They introduced a realization to me today, and the Boy Scouts did, that we have a lot of community members who just want to volunteer somewhere. And I do wonder if we want to start opening up the garden more actively to just people who want to help us make the garden a sustainable and beautiful place, even if they don't have a plot. Like, we could start more aggressively saying, this is our schedule for work days. If you want to experience what the community garden's like and meet people in your community, come to the work day. And we could really start pushing it, and then, it is sad not everyone can have a plot, but people can still learn how to grow things, or, I don't know.
Has anyone approached us saying that they want to volunteer?
I mean, other than the Boy Scouts in this organization, no. But we have old gardeners who don't have plots who still volunteer with us.
That veterans organization, did they say they wanted to work in the garden?
Yes.
They contacted you?
Because of this project. So I'll talk about it in a sec. It happened in this meeting with her today. We were just talking about being new neighbors. And then she was like, but we also have this other thing, and we need an event so I can talk about it more in a second. I guess I just want to focus this question on the broader. Do we want to open this up? We're a public entity. We have these meetings that are online. We make everything so public. And would it be bad to just make that like more public? Like, start posting at the library, start posting, like, I have an Instagram, we have a Facebook that's like, come to our work days.
Well, I think, go ahead. Well, we kind of talked about this issue when the architectural landscape place was talking about making that a park.
Yes.
So there's a certain amount of protecting our plots that we need to be mindful of. And, it's great to have people help us, but it needs to be supervised.
But if it's work days, I'm gonna, let me do that. So we'll do Karen, and then Margie, and then Ryan, and then I'm also looking over here.
I thought of the same thing, Karen, but I think in a limited way on supervised work days, with the understanding that they really shouldn't go in there. I mean, maybe an individual here or there, but not a whole group going in there without anybody present, because that defeats the purpose of being in the garden for some of us. We don't want to be in a whole flock of people that we have to watch out for and who might not be very garden savvy. You know, I'm thinking the word that came to my mind was let's vet them, but I know that's maybe not terribly practical.
It's a good point. And maybe they'll be walking their dogs through there
Right.
and.
You don't know, but someone on a supervised workday, that might be a great way to get people involved and to get some stuff done that people like me can't do.
Yeah. Ryan and then Frank.
Yeah, I guess my 2 cents as a person hosting workdays is great. Like, let's try it. If it feels way too overwhelming, or like we don't have the resources to wrangle that many people or people who, then like if that came up, we could reassess.
Let's try it once.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay. Let's try once and yeah, we can.
Yeah, why not invite
corral.
people to the workday?
Frank,
Use more human
you're
power.
up. Did you? Nothing. I keep pointing. Okay. Anyone up there? No hands up. Other thing I guess I could say is we don't have to start with like just publicizing it a ton. We could start by approaching specific organizations. So we could reach out to the bees and ask them to, like, can they start advertising it to their community? Because that's a way to vet. It's like, we know these organizations already have volunteers.
And I think we should have a limited number of people because we don't want 30 people suddenly coming in on a workday.
Well, if they're
Why
down to
not?
see.
We'll corral. I've led huge work days. We'll corral
Well,
them.
so let me ask you guys, and then again, people should weigh in if they're absolutely opposed, but do you think that, I should just start by reaching out to the bees and the high school and like more specific organizations?
Yes.
And do that first and see if
Yeah,
they can
yeah,
come?
yeah.
Okay, part of that might be, once you have the schedule, I can then be like, and then here are the days or something like that.
And it would be helpful, I would say, if people knew that they were gonna have a bigger group, like, oh, there's 15 people from this particular organization who want to come, that would be helpful to know so that we could make sure that there was a big project. Like, great, we're gonna tackle all the multiflora rows that day, or, you know, there's this other big project that could use a lot of human power. So yeah, that's the only thing I would say about that.
So it should be structured and supervised.
Yeah, not a problem.
I agree, and I think it's a good idea, but I think that we would have to, or I would propose making parameters for the outside volunteers.
So.
Parameter, sorry, hold on
like
here.
what?
Parameters, just like the,
Like, you know, don't go into people's plots
yeah,
without
and maybe,
being
maybe
asked
that's
to,
fine.
you know, I don't know.
I think we could handle that as the like
I don't
people
know.
who are leading the work
Hopefully,
day.
that's the hope.
Yeah,
And
and
then-
I think I feel like I trust us and the other people who are there from the garden to be able to like set and like kindly enforce appropriate boundaries.
Karen, what
So
were
at
you?
a previous garden, the local community college and the high school had, you could earn a credit.
Yeah,
During
yeah,
the
exactly.
semester. And so like a couple of times during the summer, groups of, college age kids and, you know, some high schools, but they were totally supervised.
Yeah.
But it was great because you would say, oh, could you bring me over a couple of wheelbarrowfuls of compost? You know, whatever you needed, you could ask them to do it and they would just do it. You know,
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, I
But
think
it was
they're-
totally supervised.
And I,
yeah.
in my Northampton plot, for a while I was working in the homeless field. And it looked like a lot of people in the shelters were interested in gardening. So I could get my plot, one of my plots for free by having a community service happening in the garden. But it was only in that one plot and only when I was there and only up to a certain amount of people, and it worked very well. But it's like structured and supervised is, I think, the key.
No, yeah.
Can I play devil's advocate? Not saying that this might happen, but, you know, people who are interested in gardening and don't have a plot and might want to volunteer to help out, might be scoping out plots and saying, oh, those flowers are nice. And they know where everything is when you're gone.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
No,
Well,
that's
it's trustworthy.
There is that little
That
bit
element.
of that, do I trust that supervised people are always
But
gonna
that-
have somebody's eyes on them?
That happens regardless, like the
Yeah.
Northampton Garden, they had to put up a chain across the road because there was so much stealing going on. And you have to have the combination. I can't drive in there anymore and pick the mint that I planted in the woods because I don't know the combination and it's pretty far. It's a big garden. So we are always taking that chance.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like we're closed off to them.
Inviting more
The
people.
idea.
I like
I feel
the
like it
idea,
has to
but-
be done.
And you know, if we find that that's happening, we can always make a change.
Yeah, we can see work days are now only for gardeners and go back and like
Yeah.
that way. Okay, cool. Well, that's awesome. I'll reach out to a couple organizations. I feel bad. I've been trying to contact the bees for a year. Like we had a meeting last year set up and then but I think they're a group that we should be working with for
Can
these
you say
events.
more about this group?
The bees are, I don't even really know. They're just connected with the city and they do like sustainable gardening projects around town and it's
Invasive plant
Yeah.
removal.
yeah, and I think they have a bunch of volunteers and they have money, I think, from the city too.
What about Girl Scouts too?
Yeah.
Don't they get badges for?
Oh, absolutely. And I think Ava has, I think they reach out to the city to ask for like where they should volunteer. So I'll just make sure Ava, I'll email her too.
Yeah, a bunch of 7-year-olds might be more easy.
Yeah, maybe. They definitely wouldn't sneak in there on their own time. Okay, any other questions about events before moving to new and old and new business? Okay, cool, fabulous. Thanks guys so much. And the compost crew, and I'm so embarrassed. I wrote down to Kai, right? To Kai.
I think.
To Kai. To Kai.
To Kai. I'm just gonna
Is that how
write
you pronounce that person's name?
Yes, to Kai.
to Kai. I
Like
really,
George Takai. You know George Takai?
Yeah, but this is T-A,
Captain Sulu.
yeah, but this is T-A-Q-U-I-A.
Yeah.
but Takai and Matt had said they were interested in helping organize or be in a compost crew. And then Matt was sent me an email and wanted to clarify like more of the parameters around that, which is just we still need a leadership role for that project, which I wanted to touch base with Takai today to see what his like feelings on that project were. So this is when I finally get to talk about the meeting I had today. So the reason.
What's that?
I said, good night.
Good night.
Oh, good night. I don't know who
Sleep
that.
well.
Who's that?
I don't know. Oh, Charlotte.
Together you got my window.
Bye.
Bye. No, she's not.
Sorry.
Alice is saying goodnight. It wasn't even Charlotte. Someone's saying goodnight to Charlotte.
My 96-year-old dad.
No, that's beautiful. So okay, now we can talk about it. Here we go. Farmer Veteran Coalition. There is a building and a large property right next to the garden. That used to be something called a poor farm, which is strange and interesting in its own way, but it was a place where poor people worked the land and had housing to sustain living there. But it was weird, I think, from what I can tell, you were sent there, which is like by the city because you were so poor that that's what you got to do. But it ran for a really long time, and now it's been like abandoned, and the city is getting ready to it's like sell it essentially. And one of the organizations that is proposing, and it's still in the stages, and so it might not happen, is the Farmer Veteran Coalition. And I met with Heather Tackle today, and she would like to meet with us again. I told her about like how our meetings are really full at the beginning and to reach out to us later. to do her presentation. But we met today and she was saying that what they're going to develop over there, if the proposal is accepted, is a campus for it's a campus for veterans to transition from their service work to regenerative farming like practice and like jobs and creating their own farms that are based on regenerative farming, which is just about like soil health and not necessarily organic, but like sustainable. And so when they build that campus, part of what it would require is getting to know all the neighbors and also like figuring out what the neighbors need as far as volunteer work and community impact and being a part of the community and also welcoming the community in there. So part of this means they might help us build a porta potty or like a place to go to the bathroom because they're going to be the land right next to us and they would want to build something like that for us.
Have they done this before?
They have done this before.
There is an existing farm where they are currently.
I think that they have existing models like this. They don't have a full campus. I think this would be, but that's a great question. And I'll look at I didn't have time to look at the presentation today. They do have this program running in a lot of different places, but it did seem like this one was a little bit newer because there were logistics to figure out. So this is a twofold situation. One is they wanted to know if we would be willing to sign a letter of support for their proposal. And if we were willing to write a letter of support, we can vote on that and then we can start working on what that means.
The Chicklin family has been farming that land for a very long time.
Yes.
And they are also trying to.
Yeah, so she told me that as well. And they had already been in talks with them to let them continue to farm that land while also knowing that they had their own proposal. So I think that's part of the and maybe it's worth before we agree to a letter of support, maybe one of us could reach. Does anyone know what was the name of the family? The Chickwin family. Does anyone have a connection to them?
Never heard any of this before.
It's they're just the people who take they like just use it for feed. They like grow grains for the their I think it's a cattle farm. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Lived here for 45 years. And
It's like, I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, the Chicoine, they have the when you go towards the brush dump and all the cattle are up there. Not the ones right where we are, but
further towards
down Oliver
Easthampton,
Street. Yeah,
on the left side.
that's their farm, but they've hayed these fields for over 100 years.
I'm going to then ask Heather, because they are in conversation with that family.
Yeah.
I will ask Heather for their contact and just ask them, and then we can talk about this again next meeting. She was really friendly and is super great. And I feel like if she came to a meeting, we would have a great conversation about a lot of questions like that. Because she was mostly like, what could we build for you? And I was like, we mostly need volunteers. So we can talk more about that. But I guess the reason I'm anxious to bring it up with events, and I'll try to say it before Ryan scoots off, is they have what's called Hive, which is like a mini version of this training where vets come and do learn about farming and then do a volunteer project in the community. And they were going to be working on another veterans farm, but that isn't going to work. And they need this organized for the Memorial Day weekend. So it'd be the May the 24th. She wondered if we would have interest in hosting this group to volunteer for a project. And I had brought up the compost situation being something, and she has talked with Russell before as well. So she's like, well, I could reach out to him about the tractor. So we've got suddenly everyone's really ready with the tractor. But if it's definitely a lot to organize really fast, she was needing to talk to people. But it could be a way to have a big group that moved the stuff we need to get out of there, push the dirt to the side, bring down a bunch of mulch, lay down the mulch, and then get that zone ready for the compost plan that the consultant made a couple years ago. But the 25th is not something you guys could run. It sounds like.
I'll be out of town.
Okay, cool. Well, is anyone else available? Well, let me do this. Is anyone opposed to working with this organization on the 25th if we could make it happen?
I just think we should be careful that they're not trying to jolly us along to get this recommendation. You know, that they're saying that they're regenerative farming. That's a very specific type of farming. And I don't know that the Chickwins do that. They might just do, because when they mentioned that, they talked about fertilizing and whatever. That's a more conventional farming. So I'm not sure that for them to say, oh, we let the Chickwins continue to do that, that would not necessarily be going along with their model of.
And that might be what some of their conversations have been about. I'm not sure. Like in her saying they wanted them to still be able to use the land. Maybe they were like, but we'd like it to be under these conditions then. Yeah.
I just don't want them to jolly us along and then feel like, well, now we're obligated to recommend it. I need a whole lot more information before I would recommend one side or the other.
I think the only reason I would push for this is I did ask her, I was like, if you guys don't get the proposal, I mean, would this be just an organization that would volunteer with us regularly once a year when they do this hive programming? And she said, yeah.
Are they in this area other than this farm?
I think so. I think they're a national organization.
They're international, they're at least national, I know.
And so I don't know, since they don't have a campus in the area, and I don't know, like you said, it's a great question if they have these campuses other places. They do run these events, this like training in the area, and they have like veteran farmers, I guess, who they're connected with in the area.
This isn't sounding cohesive enough right now for me to say, yeah, this is a good idea.
To have them volunteer with us at a work day. But I want to separate this from their campus and us endorsing their purchase.
So soon, I think.
Yeah, too
very
soon.
soon. It's not enough time to get the information that some people.
Okay, cool.
like.
That's really fine. Any other comments or concerns?
Well, I have a comment. I mean, if they're gonna come in and deal with this mega piece of crap compost pile that we have, that's like as big as this freaking room, and volunteer to do it, you know, I don't want to just say, oh, it's too soon. If they can organize it, you know, I don't want to just blow this off and say it's too soon.
Do they have a tractor? I mean, if they don't have a base here, where are they gonna get the tractor from?
Oh, well, sorry. That was, because they're in contact with all the neighbors of the property, she's already been working with Russell, and I had asked her, I was like, well, should I reach out to, it was like, the big thing we need is a tractor. And she's like, well, I can reach out to Russell. Do you know him? I was like, yes. And then it came up in this meeting that we're all talking to Russell about this fucking, stupid.
Well, that's the kind of information. that
Yeah.
You're asking.
But she
for.
already
Yeah.
has that. So she is working with these people. She is doing this, her job in the nonprofit, I think, is to do these conversations.
So, I mean, it's still us basically interacting with Russell.
Right, but with a bunch of volunteers coming that day to then.
So shouldn't we be the ones interacting with Russell about this?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
You know, not, why have her do the intermediary?
I'm gonna pause on these details. I want to decide if we're gonna work with them or not, and then we can hash out the details. Mel?
I just want to acknowledge the fact that you are doing a lot of effort trying to get volunteers into the garden and name that. And I'm just grateful for it because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. That's all. It's an awkward moment for that kind of
No problem. I appreciate it. Stephen?
I was just going to say that I attended a presentation that she gave.
Oh, great.
So,
Awesome.
but you know, my impression is, and I think I'm hearing the same from you, Sarah, there's no, you know, there's this proposal, but there's no there yet, right? They don't have volunteers per se, you know, a flock of them. That's just my impression.
They don't have
put this
lots of
proposal in.
volunteers. They don't have a campus and they don't have people in the campus. They have a registered group of people who will be volunteering on the 25th, either at a farm or with us. They're looking for a place. It's just like the Boy Scouts. It's
No, I hear your question. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying, apart from that registration process, it's not as if they have a already existing cadre.
Yes.
Folks.
Yeah. That's kind of why it's separate. It's like the campus thing. I agree. Let's get more questions like answered before we write a letter of support. But Frank is bringing up a good point. It is fast, but it might be like a loss of an opportunity to help with this situation.
So is there anybody here available to be there on that day? I think that's kind of crucial.
The 25th. It would be the 24th. I apologize. 25th is Memorial Day.
The 24th is a Sunday?
It's somebody's birthday in here, right? Somebody's birthday. Let's see. So I'm available that day. I'm just trying to say no more often. Yeah. Really, maybe like not want to do this, but
I think that's primary. If nobody available to be there when these people come, then
then it wouldn't work.
it's not gonna work. Yeah.
Is that the only date that they're available?
That is because that's the day of the training.
So it's the 24th.
It's the 24th. It's the
And then you
24th.
would have to coordinate the tractor and have a plan to how to put the compost heap together.
The tractor is just going to push that compost pile into the brush.
We're not gonna.
There's too many weed seeds in it. I think it's just like too much. But what was that, Nikki?
How many people from Frankfurt have to be there to?
At least one.
Yeah, I guess at least
Yeah.
one. It
Yeah.
sounds like, I think I'd hoped it was like, would be just a work day because then we could have them do other projects too. But I guess since it doesn't have to be us, it's just them. It really would just need to be the monitoring person.
So they're just gonna push the brush into the swamp,
The compost into the
swamp, and you are thinking they're gonna do other things as well?
And then, so the person, like, I don't think they're gonna be on the tractor, so it'd be like Russell or Mike or Fiona, pushing the dirt over finally. And then all the volunteers would lay down the, like a tarp or, like cardboard underneath, cover it with mulch, and then start that project, that I'd sent like a couple years ago, the consultation the compost person did with the 5 bin system. So that would get that started. So it'd mostly be them like
on that
volunteers would be moving a bunch of mulch and setting up that area to be just like flat.
But that's not all gonna happen on that day.
Yes.
So everything has to be organized to be there.
Yeah, the mulch I was gonna order with Christine today. And then just figuring out like if Russell could move the dirt or if he's okay with the tractor happening that day.
Well, I think if there's people available who can make it happen, it's a great opportunity, but it's a moot point if there's not people
Okay,
available.
well then I just want to vote on, is anyone opposed to having them help us with this work day? Or with this project, this work event?
As long as there's somebody knowledgeable from the garden there supervising the activity.
Cool. All right. Well, then I'll move forward with just emailing her to see if we can make it happen. She also didn't know if like she had to email people to see if it could happen this quickly
You
too.
have to coordinate stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll email her and see like what if I can do it, and if I can't, then I'll tell her like sorry, or if anybody listening is like, I definitely can be there and I want to be there.
Put this in the meeting though.
Yeah.
Just like a loss of opportunity. I feel like I could probably try to make some time.
Okay, cool. Well, let's
Like a
stay in
huge chunk of
conversation
time.
and see, because maybe we could split it into 2 shifts. I don't,
Would this be in lieu of that support letter?
No, that would be, we can separately talk about the support aspect.
maybe we should make it clear that this doesn't mean we're
Oh,
writing
yeah.
a support letter.
Yeah, totally. I can do that.
But that we need
Yeah.
more information and
Yeah. That sounds good. And yeah, not to get her hopes up. I'll make her nervous. We're holding all the cards or whatever. Okay, cool. I'll make her nervous in a really nice way. Okay, great.
I need to leave, but carry on.
All right, awesome.
you know what? I can't stand it anymore. Having another piece of.
Yeah, please do. Otherwise, I was gonna just bring it to Nebraska.
Delicious. It's delicious,
It's so
Sarah.
good.
I'm so glad. Okay, so going to move to, we'll skip the governance leadership question for now. And I'm going to move to say, the next meeting is June 4th at 7 PM here, probably in this building, probably this room with this same link. 7 PM, June 4th.
Can I, okay, I just wanted to say something real quick.
Oh, yes, please, yeah.
Especially for new people, you know, coming to meetings doesn't mean you're on the committee. But everyone is really welcome to join the committee. And once you're on the committee, you can figure out like a regular job that you do. Because we really like people to join and meet people.
We do.
Anybody up there do that? Forgetting you're there, sorry guys.
No, it's been great. Before we adjourn this meeting, are there any questions, comments? Yes.
Yeah, I brought seeds that we
Oh my
had
God,
at the last
yes.
meeting,
Oh
and
my
Matt
God, yeah.
graciously is donating some tiny little envelopes if you want to collect some seeds and label them.
Oh, thank you so much.
Great.
Okay, cool. Well, I move to end today's meeting.
A second.
Yay! All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. That was awesome.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And our local cable subscribers.